This is a retention pond. Basically, it's underneath a parking area. So any new places like this are going in, they're supposed to be big enough to hold all the water from a 100-year rain event that comes in at one time, and they slowly release that to the environment so that it reduces the flooding and everything. Those are not pre-treatment plants. Now, some of them are starting to have pre-treatment in there, and this right here shows a little pre-treatment in there. When I went to StormCon, which is where the biggest group of people that regulate these are at, they're always complaining because these get put in, then they get remediation stuff in there and take care of the groundwater, and then they're not kept up. Common cold water jobs: car lots, sidewalks, shopping malls, building exteriors, homes, parking lots, and garages. Kitchen grease exhaust is not a cold water job. Discharges to the storm drain should pass through a mesh screen oil absorbent to remove the debris and oil and grease. Discharges should be free of visible foam and oil sheen. Hot water for purchase of discharge to storm drain is water temperature less than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Discharges to environmental waste company. For the regulators, if you use this, you need to put in some examples of environmental waste companies in your local area. The word biodegradable is not okay for discharge to the storm drain. They increase the biological oxygen demand of the water, which kills living organisms. Biodegradable does not mean non-toxic. Biodegradable generally means it's more easy to process by the public-owned treatment works. These processes are preferable for discharge to sanitary sewer rather than other products. You notice a few things are repeated. That's so it becomes part of you and you can recall it real easy. It's like your ABCs. Your teacher didn't come in and go through the ABCs and expect you to get up and repeat them and use them. Waste generator is your customer. Is the owner of the waste from cradle to grave. Talk to your customer about who is going to be responsible for the solid waste generated from a draw, from your job. The least expensive method of collecting your dirt, sand, and debris is right off the worst surface before it enters your wastewater pumping equipment. A $20 broom and a shovel is an inexpensive method. It's the least expensive method to pick up your dirt and your debris and a leaf blower. Costs and benefits of compliance. There's going to be a cost associated with the control and discharge of contract cleaning wastewater. Enacting regulations prohibit discharge of contract cleaning wastewater to storm drains with enforcement through complaint basis only will have little effect on stopping this wastewater from entering the storm drain. The biggest benefit of compliance is doing your part in cleaning up the environment and avoiding fines. Mobile power wash operators who invest time, money, and equipment to offer environmental services receive big competitive advantage. Not unusual for these operators to double or triple their business in a year. Since they're the only ones with approved process, guess who gets recommended? Of course, this exclusive position will only last until someone gets approved. But by that time, you should already have yourself established. Enforcement. If a violation occurs, citations can be issued to the mobile power wash company, the wash operator, the customer's manager, and the customer's company. Available remedies. This is from the enforcement side. Notice of violation, compliance agreement, compliance order, cease and desist order, suspension, termination, civil penalties, public notice, criminal violations, and remedies that are non-exclusive. Procedure of how we address violators. This is basically for the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Violators observed are reported. Many discharges are reported by citizens or other local government employees through the central hotline at 311 or our website. Some are observed by environmental specialists while doing the job. No, we do not patrol streets looking for violators. We do not have time and resources available to do so. So basically, it's an enforcement by complaint only. Investigation of lead violations. Environmental specialists from the Environmental Department, Stormwater Services, investigates all alleged violations. The investigation process includes speaking with the person alleged to be in violation, observing the discharge area, storm drain system, and surface waters, taking pictures and video, obtaining additional information, violator's name, address, and phone number, explaining finding to the person alleged in a violation, and document all findings in writing. If a violation is confirmed on the first offense, down this side here, non-willful offense, violator must clean up the impacted area and submit a written response describing corrective action. Now, if it's a first offense and it's willful, then a NOI, notice of violation, is written, and a penalty is issued, and he's still got to clean it up and tell him how he's going to protect it. If they do all this and there's a second offense, then they issue a penalty and they look at other enforcement remedies, which may mean arrest and impoundment of his equipment. So if you continue in this thing, it gets tougher. I recently had a guy that they come up on him and say, "How come you're running that down in the storm drain?" He said, "Because you haven't caught me yet." So guess how many tickets he got? Not a smart move. What does notice of violation say? Location and nature of the violation, general description of enforcement remedies and penalties that may apply, specific actions needed to correct the violation and resolve the impacted area, deadline to complete the corrective actions, how to provide additional information to the regulatory agency, contact name and phone number, and requires written response explaining corrective action. Monetary damages. In Charlotte, it's $5,000 per day per violation. In Mecklenburg County, it's $10,000 per day violation. In Davison, it's $5,000 per day. In Matthew, incremental depending on history. Maximum $1,000 for the first offense. For the second offense, it's $3,000 and continue up. All penalties collected go to the public sewer system, not stormwater surfaces. So that's how they're handling it in their particular community. And when you're using this slide on a local basis, you need to insert into here how you particularly handle it in your area. Example of other enforcement remedies: withholding a permit, won't let them operate. Compliance agreement, compliance order, cease and desist order, emergency relief, injunctive release. They got the big stick. Appeals. All ordinances have appeal process. The Stormwater Advisory Committee hears the appeals. The SWAC is made up of 9 citizens who are nominated and appointed by the county commissioner, city council, and town councils. SWAC bylaws have specific requirements for committee representation. 1 member from industry, 1 member from environmental, 1 member from construction, 1 member from violation. Rating members are appointed from a cross-section of the community. And it goes into how they do it there. Cost of non-compliance should not be less than the cost of compliance. A lot of times your fine is going to be based on what would it cost you if you'd done it right. They're going to charge you the difference. So you might as well comply to start out with. Environmental Management System Protection. That shows you, that's ink and dye, that's where they're testing. Sewer system, that's window cleaning. Soap, all that detergent there. That looks like a laundry. There's open top containers. Apparently they had copper in them. There's your POTW. And that's a shot down a, looks like a container that's got waste in it. Inspectors, that's typical photos that Charlotte furnishes for inspectors in action. If we cannot resolve it, it comes time to call the lawyers. Please call us or come by and see us before this happens. They're trying to work with you. What does the future hold? For the Power Wash contract cleaner of the 21st century, water management will be as important as pressure washing. You will now have to have a toolbox full of tools for proper wastewater management. Just as a carpenter has more than a hammer in his toolbox, it will be necessary for the pressure wash contractor to have more than one type of device for capturing, controlling, and cleaning wastewater. The EPA's ordinance of cosmetic cleaning.